TV animation in the early 2010s experienced a new renaissance of sorts, full of creativity and style. Shows like Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Gumball, Blue Bear Bears, TMNT 2012, and many, many more would be critically acclaimed and grow huge fan bases that still hold dear to these shows long after cancellation. But there's one cartoon I believe has been mostly overshadowed during this era. That cartoon is Regular Show. Regular Show premiered on September 6, 2010, and it followed two friends, Mordecai and Rigby, as they go on wild adventures whilst working as groundskeepers at a local park. Along with the main cast, we had a host of supporting characters like Benson, Pops, Muscle Man, High Five Ghost, Skips, Eileen, Margaret, and most importantly, Big Head.
What about, that guy?
Wait, not yet. One ugly guy plotting revenge on my son for the last 4 years isn't enough to keep the park open.
The show was well known for its surreal narratives and wacky plots that start off with a pretty average premise, but then it begins to take a turn for the ludicrous. For example, one scene can be Mordecai trying to win a trucker hat by finishing a food challenge, and the next could be a Last Crusade callback where he's trying to choose a hat in a life or death scenario. Side note, I'd like to also mention that this show has an 80s aesthetic that is unrivaled by any other show. Yes, even more than Stranger Things. I know Stranger Things had the song from Neverending Story, but did it ever have a transforming Voltron robot paired up with the song The Touch by Stan Bush from the Transformers movie? I don't think so.
You got the touch. You got the power.
The scenarios in the show become crazier and crazier in each season. But, as these events unfold, you learn more about each character's ambitions, wants, hopes, and fears. The show takes a major shift in Season 4, where certain events start having a lasting impact, and the character dilemmas are taken a bit more seriously. From then on, each episode isn't just about having relatable individuals in crazy situations. It's now instead about Mordecai's relationship struggles, Rigby's fears of being callow and inane in nature, Benson coping with ineffective management, Muscle Man trying to just be, well, a better person overall, etc. The surreal experiences are still a huge part of the story, but instead of just acting as a story obstacle, with little to no other repercussions after the fact on said characters, the environments expand the personal dilemmas and add a larger conflict to an overall smaller real-world struggle. Now, not every episode's like this, but most of the time it relies on character growth.
Excuses, excuses. How am I supposed to trust you when all you give me are excuses? When are you two gonna learn that your actions have consequences? Consequences that affect other people, like me. Don't you two understand? I'm about to lose my job. You may not care about keeping your jobs, but I care about keeping mine. Because if I lose my job, I have nothing. Do you hear me? I have nothing.
By the time Season 6 hits, Regular Show has a full, overarching storyline that continues until the end of the show. It raises the stakes, and characters begin to change on a whole other level. This is what I'd like to define as reverse flanderization, where instead of a character becoming more stereotypical and bland in future seasons of a show, Regular Show does the opposite, fleshing out one-note characters more and more until they become extremely developed mainstays that have real-world emotions, flaws, and dilemmas. I dare not spoil what happens in the last two seasons. All I can really say is that it should be regarded as one of the best storylines and endings in television history, and that's not something to be taken lightly. The show ended on a perfect note in January 16, 2017, and since then, the creator, J.G. Quintel, has been working on an adult cartoon called Close Enough, which is set to premiere on HBO Max. But for me personally, I prefer regular shows teen to adult audience range. There's just enough in the show for it not to be suitable for younger kids, but for the teenagers and college students, that's where the show finds its demographic. When I saw this as a kid, when it first came out, I thought it was just okay. But in college, it hit a whole nother level. Ultimately, the show is about adapting to growth and change, and trusting that life will go on despite being stuck between living as a child and living as an adult. Its message is so clear and relatable that I want to see it make a comeback in the cartoon community again, which it very well might. I've been seeing a lot more regular show memes lately, and individual fans pop up over the last year and a half. Hopefully this means the show will finally get the credit it deserves. I don't know how to end this video, so I'm just going to say, see you all next time.